Hello and welcome to the next video in fleetform.net's video series on how to use fleetform.net. Today's lab is a two-parter, so I'm going to make two separate videos. For the first one, we're going to go ahead and leverage fleetform.net to create HSRP, right? And for today, we're going to do a layer 3 port channel between two switches. Then in the second half of the second video in the series, on this lab, I should say, we're going to go ahead and set up HSRP between two routers and a switch. And we're going to configure OSPF for all of this so that everything can talk to everything. So stick around for the second part with HSRP. However, for today, we're going to work on a layer 3 port channel between two switches. So let's get to it. First, we log in. Okay, now, as with other videos, we're going to go ahead and only configure the host name for the basic part, because the other fields have been demonstrated in other videos. So I'll skip by local auth. So we're going to work on switch 1, as you can see, right? So for switch 1, let's start with our VLANs as usual. And it looks like the only one that we need is VLAN 20. And we'll say, we'll just call this internet VLAN. It's going to have an IP address of 10.0.2.10, as we can see from our diagram, with the /24, so 222550. And that's the only VLAN and only IP that we need right now. Let's configure our physical interfaces. We're going to have Ethernet 02. In that VLAN as an access port. We're going to have E03, also in VLAN 20. Now, as you can see, we also need E00 and E01 to be in the port channel. We'll go ahead and say that this is to switch 2. We don't need any other config right there. To switch 2. Okay, so there is our physical interfaces. Oh, looks like interface 4 has a period in it. What did I do wrong? Oh, that's supposed to be a slash, not a dot. Although I would point out, fleetform.net does support sub-interfaces, but if you're doing a sub-interface, as you know, you need an IP. So that's really what that was telling us. So there we go. The only other things that we need to configure are the port channel itself. And as you can see, oops, sorry about that. This switch 1 is going to be our DHCP server for our workstations. So let's go ahead and configure our Etherchannel. This is how simple it is. We pick the interfaces that are in the Etherchannel. So in this case, it's 00 and 01. The IP is supposed to be 10.04.1. /24, so 222550. Let's update that config. Last piece we need to do, set up our DHCP server. We'll call it workstations. 10.03, we'll exclude 1 through 9. It's the 10.03 subnet, 222550, with a gateway of the VLAN that we're going to put on switch 2, which would be 10.03.1. Let's go ahead and update that. That is a good config for switch 1. So let's go ahead and pop them in there. Let's open up switch 1. grab our config. Paste him in there. There we go. Let him sit while we do switch 2. I'm going to go ahead and reset the form. Didn't have to, but I find that it makes life a little easier. I make more mistakes when I try to just change what's appropriate, IPs and such. For our VLANs, we need a VLAN 30, right? We'll call them workstations. He has an IP of 10.0.3.1/24 again. That's the only VLAN we need for that guy. Oop, looks like I've got a bad mask, and I do. Let's go with the right one. Now for our physical interfaces. Once again, we're going to have our E0 and E01 going to switch 1. They will be part of our port channel. And E01 also to switch 1. Okay. And then we've got our interfaces for our workstations. As you've seen in other videos, we could do the range command, or we could do individuals. I've always done the range, so let's just mix it up a little bit today. We'll say this is an access port and VLAN 30 and E03, you know, grabbing them from the network diagram that I've created. So there's our physical interfaces. Oh, you know what I forgot to do is configure OSPF back there on switch 1. I'll show you how easy that is to do once we get through this part. Let's go ahead and configure it now here on switch 2. So the interface, the subnets we're going to need to advertise are our 10.04 and our 10.03. There's /24, so that'd be a 0000255. We'll just pop them in area 0. Add 10.03.0. Once again, 0000255. I should do it for OSPF. Now, let's make our ether channel in similar fashion. We pick our interfaces. We got E00, E01. This guy's going to be 10.04.2 as per our diagram. /24. So let's create that. For DHCP, what we need is a helper, right? And the helper interface is going to be our VLAN 30. And the address we want to send it to is 10.04.1, right? The other side of the layer 3 port channel. Let's update that. Now we should have a pretty good config. Switch 2, VLAN 30, got our port channel, got our VLAN, got our access ports. Yeah, this looks like this should be a good config. So let's go ahead, put that in switch 2. Config T, paste that baby in there. Now, what we need to do is go back to switch 1, right? We forgot our OSPF. Now here's a good opportunity to show. You can choose sections at a time to config, right? So I'm just going to say we're OSPF process ID 10. What we need that will advertise 10.0.20 and 10.0.40. In area 0, 10.0.4.0 with our mask. And check this out. So you don't have to do the entire config. What this is going to kick out is just what I need to pop into switch 1 to get OSPF to come up and running. So let's see if that works. So what we can see, well, that's well, OSPF already came up. We're already loading. We've already got routes. I was going to say our port channel's up. So we should have some routes learned by OSPF. And just the fact that we have an OSPF neighbor that's connected to our port channel, our layer 3 port channel, shows that we've got a good config. So let's do a real quick. Let's just make sure. Yeah, so we've got LACP running on Ethernet 00 and 01, and they are both participating, right? They're bundled in the port channel. So we got a good config. That's all for this video. I appreciate you listening as always and watching. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to reach out. I appreciate you. Have a great day. See you in the next video.